Hi guys, welcome to my third lesson of beginner Java. Today I will be building a simple Hangman game with some advanced features at the end, like scraping a website for words. So to build a Hangman game, it's a pretty simple game where you just have to you get a word and then you have to guess individual letters and hope you don't get hanged. So you have to guess all the letters of the word. So let's start. Of course, we will need some user input. So we have to import java.util.scanner, and we'll also have to use a new class that is called random, because we will be selecting random words from an array. So we will do something like this. Scanner is new scanner. This is just so we can read the input from the player or the user, and this will serve as an random object with the help of which we will generate random numbers, and we can get random words from that, like this. So right at the start we can declare an array. Let's give it a name guesses, and we can also declare an array like this, so we can just type what the array will have. So we can just make up a few words like Reddit, then programming, then I don't know, fruit, donut, I guess, and I guess that's it. That's enough for now. And what every game needs is a while loop. So we will need a while loop to execute this code that will be right here until we give it until we stop it. So we will also need a variable, a boolean. So let's call it are we playing, and let's set it to true, and we will test this variable each time we iterate a loop. So in plain English, this will sound like while let me just name this like this. So it will sound better in English. So while we are playing, execute this, and once this will become false, we will finish the game. So we can right now just do system.out.println or like this. And once we enter the loop, we can greet our user like, let's say, welcome to my game of Hangman. Like this. So we get a nice, friendly greeting. And what to do now? Well, we have to get a random word. How will we do that? Well, let me just type it out how I pictured it. So we will be using a char array, random word to guess. I use a descriptive name so I don't get confused. So we will be taking a random word from this array, and we will be doing this like so: random.next int guesses.length to char array. So I realize this is pretty confusing, so I'll try my best to explain. So as I said, we will be taking a word from this array, and between these two brackets right here, we have to get a random number so we can choose any of these words. So what we do, we call this object with the method nextInt, which will return a random int between 0 and guesses.length. So it will return an integer from 0 and up to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And so we can get one of these words. And what the char array does, it breaks down a string, let's say Reddit. It will turn it into something like this. It will turn it each letter into an individual character. So it will look something like this. Okay. Once we do that, we can declare a helpful variable, just amount of guesses, and then this doesn't have to be the length of the word. This is just how many times you want the player to guess the word. For example, you can set this to 100, but then I think it's pretty easy. You'll have a pretty easy game, so I'll just set it to however long the word is. And what I'll need now is another char array, player guesses, right? Player guess. Let's leave it like this. Player guess, new char array, amount of guesses. So what this will do, it will create an empty char array for which we will save the user's input. So, but before we can do anything with that, we have to initialize it with a for loop. So we do int I 0. Like this, and we will set each field to an underscore like this. So the player guess at the start will look like something like this. So same if you would, for example, play the game on a whiteboard. So what we do now, well, this is our main game loop, but inside of this we'll have to have another loop in which the game actually takes place, in which the guessing will actually take part. So we have to declare another Boolean value. So let's say Boolean word is guessed, and let's set it to false because at the start the word is not guessed, and an integer tries, and let's set it to 0 because this will be an integer that keeps track of how many times the player has tried. And so this while loop will look something like this. So while word is guessed and tries does not equal amount of guesses. So let me explain this conditional. So in English, this would sound like while the word is not guessed and tries are not equal to amount of guesses, execute this code. So while we have not guessed the word and we have not exceeded the amount of tries, so we execute this code. So this is pretty cool. So let's, okay, so at the start we can print out our current guesses. So system.out.print current guesses like this. Then we can use a function which we will write in a moment. Player guess like this, and we can declare this right here. Let's set it to public static void. We won't return anything. Public static void print array, which will take a char array and it will just simply print it out. So let me just copy this. This. And what I will do now is just system.out.print line array, and like this. Oh, just print and the space in between. And at the end, we just print out a new line just for nicer formatting. Okay, and what we do now, we can system.out.print f. You have tries. Okay, and this is just a helpful output to the player to see how many tries he has left, and then we prompt the user for our input. So system.out.println, enter a single character. This, and we get our input, and we do scanner.next line dot char at 0. So what this will do, even if our user inputs something like this, it will only take the A. So if, the only problem will be if the user inputs nothing, then the game will just stall. So the user, if the user inputs a word or just a single character, it will just take the first character. This is what this does. So, and now once the user has given the input, we can increment our tries variable. So we can also implement that if the user inputs a minus, we will stop the game. So if he doesn't want to play anymore. So if input equals minus, we will set the variable we are playing to false because he doesn't want to play anymore, and we'll just assume the word is guessed. So we will exit both loops, and we will go right here to system.out.println, game over. So this part is if the user doesn't want to play anymore, and the else part will be if the user inputs something valid, so a single character. And so what we do now, we yet again we will need a for loop like this. Oh, the formatting is a bit screwed up. Let me fix that. Okay, so what we have to do here, we have to substitute these underscores with the letter he inputted, but only if such letter is found in our array. So we have to go over our random word to guess like this, and we have to ask ourselves if random word to guess at the index of I is equal to input, we substitute that word with the input like this. So, and this will go over our array. Oh no, we actually have to substitute in player guess like this. We have to substitute in this array the underscores with the actual input if the user guessed correctly. So, okay, And what we have to do now, we have to check if the user has completed the word. So we have to check, is the word guessed? Is the word guessed? And we pass in the player guess array. And if the word is indeed guessed, we set the word is guessed true, like this, and we print out a victory message. So system.out.println, we print out congratulations, you won, like this, and the player will be no doubt happy. And after that, this is basically our main loop right now. So we pretty much finished the main part of the game, so substituting the guessed word and things like that. But we still need to implement, for example, this function. So we do that by public static boolean. It will return a true or false statement, and it will also take in a character array. So let me just copy this for loop, and we will, and how do we know that the word is guessed? That means that there are no underscores left in our array. So if we do if array at index I equals an underscore, that means we have found an underscore, and that means that the word is not guessed. But if we haven't found any underscores and we go through this whole for loop, and that means that there are no underscores, and we can return true, and that means that the word is guessed. And and what about if we run out of guesses? So let me just type this out. Like this. And what I do here is, if the word is still not guessed, but we have exceeded, but the tries now equals amount of guesses, we know that we run out of guesses because we were, oh, I actually should put this outside the loop. That's my bad. Right here, I think, yes. So what this if statement does, it just checks if we were thrown out of the loop, and so we print out that we ran out of guesses. So now we can ask our user if he wants to play another game. So do you want to play another game? The answer should be yes, no, yes, and you have to save the input. So let's say string another game is scanner.next line. So we get the input. So, and then we ask ourselves if another game dot equals no, then we are playing false because the user doesn't want to play anymore. And I think that is pretty much it. Let me just check by opening the command prompt and compiling the code actually. So if I try to compile, let's hope for no errors. And this is magic because I don't have any errors. So let me try and Hangman like this, and let's see. And I get an error. Oh, I forgot string args. My bad. Let me compile this again. Oh, and we have welcome to my game of Hangman. Current guesses, you have 11 tries left. So let's say we enter P. Okay, so we probably selected this. So let's try R, O, G, and let's say we just type A. Let's see if we get thrown out of the loop. Oh, and you can see we ran out of guesses. So do we want to play another game? Of course. Okay, let's see. We have 6 tries left. Let's see what word we got. R, D, E, and congratulations to us. We actually finished and won. No, so let's type no and game over. So what I wanted to go over now is actually building a much bigger array of words than just this. So we actually can go to a link. Let me just open it in my web browser. It's a big list of words. I think there are over 600,000 of them. As you can see, there are plenty of words here. What I want to do is open this web page in Java and try to parse them, and so we can start guessing them. So what we will do here is we will actually comment this out, and we will store get word list like this. So we will have to create a new method called public static, well, I guess string array. What did I call it? Get word list. Like this. So we'll have to go to that URL. Let me just copy it to this URL, and we will have to download all the words from there. So how do we do that? We will actually have to surround this in a just word. Like this. Or I think I'll have to change the code a bit now. I'll actually use a thing called linked list, like this, because we don't know how many words there are, and it will probably just be easier to use a linked list. Like this. I'll probably have to Google a few stuff to figure them out. I think I also have to import linked list like this. Okay. And what do we have to do now? Oh, well, actually not. We'll have to just, oops. Get word list, but the method signature will change from returning a string array to returning a linked list with strings inside of it. So what we do now is we have to open, well, we have to declare the URL which we will open. So URL word list is new URL, and we pass in the URL we want to access. So this is this. Yes. And we also have to open a buffered reader. So don't worry if you don't understand any of this stuff. It's just a way to enhance the game with a bigger selection of words. So I'm opening the stream word list. What this will do, it will open the stream, so we will so we can access the web page, and we open our input line and the new linked list, which we will return later on. List is new linked strings, like this, and a while loop. So while now we will add to our list. So what this does, while the input line, so while we are reading something, we will add that something to our list. And after that, we just close our connection to the site, and we return the list like this. So I think we just have to, we have to also import the java.net and the java.io for the URL class and the buffered reader class. And the other modification we have to do, we have to change this to, we just have to, because the guesses now isn't an array anymore, it's actually a linked list, so we call get, we have to call a get method like this. And linked lists don't have a length method, but instead they have a size method that just gets how many elements it has. So I think that should work, but I'll probably get an error about some exceptions. Yep. Oh, guesses like this, and what else? Linked list. Oh, I misspelled. Like, okay, let's try now. Oh, we get an. I forgot. Oh, right. I forgot to call to char array like this. So, and if we try now. Oh, and we got that we have to catch. Let's say if this solves it, throws exception. Oh, let's see if this does. Right. So we should surround this in a try block, try catch. So if an error occurs, we will have to catch it. So we just print, if an error occurs, we will just print the stack trace. like this, and I think that should solve it. Well, at least I'd hope. Well, otherwise I'll have to just Google it. And this solves it. So let's try to play some Hangman now. So it will probably take some time just to download all of the words. So we will have to wait a bit because there are considerable amount of words to be downloaded. It's taking a pretty long time. Hope there aren't any other. I'll just interrupt this, and I guess I'll have to decrease the amount of words downloaded. So let's say int counter int max words. Say we'll just take, let's say, 1,000 words, the first 1,000 words. So I'll just say counter plus plus, and I'll say if counter equals to max words. Let's break out of this loop. So what this will do, it will just download the first 1,000 words, but this should serve as a proof of concept. And we have CA, so CT, oh, maybe B, no, C, H, no, J, E. I only have 4 tries left. Let's say, oh, no, U, also no, I, oh, I have only a 1 try left. This won't. And let's say D. Oh no. Do you want to play another game? Let's go, yes. I hope this will be a simple one. A, say E, I, O, U. 2 tries left, 3 letters. What to do? I'm very bad at this game. Maybe T, no, B. Well, nope, that's it. I'll also be uploading this code to my GitHub account. Let me just get the link. I'll post the link in the comments in both the YouTube and the Reddit threads. Let me just start up the GitHub. And I'll just paste that in. So I will go to let me open my GitHub account. can see I uploaded it, or I will. So this will be what? Hangman. Okay, and it's committed. Let's sync that up. And hopefully it will be on the GitHub for you to check out. So I think you can see the URL, but if not, I'll just share it in the comments. And I think it's uploaded now. Yep, the Hangman game. So you can delete these two if you want to play with the whole 600,000 words, but because my internet is a bit slow, we just played with the first 1,000 words. So I hope you had fun, that you learned something new, and if you have any questions, you can message me either on Reddit or here on YouTube. I will try my best to answer your questions, and I'll see you next time.